and welcome to lesson 291. But first, we're going to be looking today at what is the real world. And then the lesson is, this is a day of stillness and of peace. How welcome is that? A day of stillness and a day of peace. So we'll take our holy moment, our pause before we begin our day, our time to anchor and to ground, and to remind ourselves that we do have the anchor of the universe within us. That stillness and peace is available to us. And we're just going to become present to our breath. Today, perhaps we'll inhale peace and exhale calm. I inhale peace and I exhale calm. Then tucking our chins and bowing our heads, we begin this day in gratitude. We open our hearts and we surrender to love. We ask love to lead the way through the minutes and the hours of this another brand new day. We welcome joy, we welcome fun, and we welcome abundant prosperity. We recognize that all encounters are wholesome and that all experiences can be met with a peaceful heart that is anchored in the truth, that we are one, that we are love, and that we are free. And we release these words and we let it be. So, what is the real world? The real world is a symbol, like the rest of what perception offers. Yet it stands for what is opposite to what you made. Your world is seen through eyes of fear and brings the witnesses of terror to your mind. The real world cannot be perceived except through eyes forgiveness blesses, so they see a world where terror is impossible and witness to fear cannot be found. So again, this is that invitation to shift our consciousness, to shift our vision. And we're reminded that we can do this through forgiveness, that forgiveness blesses everything we see and transforms darkness into light, transforms prisons into freedom. The real world holds a counterpart for each unhappy thought reflected in your world. A sure correction for the sights of fear and sounds of battle, which your world contains. And we're all familiar with that, if we switch on the news. The real world shows a world seen differently through quiet eyes and a mind of peace. Only rest is there. There are no cries of pain and sorrow heard, for nothing there remains outside forgiveness. And the sights are gentle. Only happy sights and sounds can reach the mind that has forgiven itself. So this requires us to remove all judgment, all thoughts of judgment, all ideas of judgment. And it begins with noticing where you're judging, either yourself or others. And remember that understanding things isn't a prerequisite to love. You do not have to understand everything in order to love and in order to be forgiving. And each time you find yourself in unforgiveness or slow to forgive, begin to question the sanity of that and recognize that you're tying yourself up in knots and locking yourself into prisons and the world along with you. What need has such a mind for thoughts of death, attack, and murder when it can perceive surrounding it except safety, love, and joy? What is there it would choose to be condemned, and what is there it would judge against? The world at sea arises from a mind at peace within itself. So remember, form follows consciousness. If you want to see peace, you need to create peace within yourself, and then you will begin to see peace outside. No danger lurks in anything it sees, for it is kind, and only kindness does it look upon. The real world is the symbol that the dream of sin and guilt is over, and God's child no longer sleeps. Its waking eyes perceive the sure reflection of its Creator's love, the certain promise that it is redeemed. The real world signifies the end of time, for its perception makes time purposeless. The Holy Spirit has no need of time when it has served the Holy Spirit's purpose. Now it waits that one more instant for God to take the final step, and time has disappeared, taking perception with it as it goes, and leaving only truth to be itself. That instant is our goal, for it contains the memory of God, and we look upon a world forgiven. For it is God who calls to us and comes to take us home, reminding us of our identity, which our forgiveness has restored to us. So we're reminded that God takes the final step, that God does the heavy lifting. So what's required of us is forgiveness and non-judgment. They're the two ingredients that are going to make our life easier and move us in the direction of heaven and move us in the direction of the real world and lift the veils of illusion and change our perception. So this is a day of stillness and of peace. The holy vision of the child of God will see for me this very day. So a little bit like yesterday, we're lending our eyes to Christ. We're not going to use these eyes. We're going to open our inner eye and lend ourselves fully and completely into seeing with Christ. Its sight shows me all things forgiven and at peace, and offers this same vision to the world. And I accept this vision in its name, both for myself and for the world as well. What loveliness we look upon today. What holiness we see surrounding us. And it is given us to recognize. It is a holiness in which we share. It is the holiness of God's own self. This day my mind is quiet. If you wish, you can close your eyes down for this piece and just listen to the prayer. This day my mind is quiet to receive the thoughts you offer me, and I accept what comes from you instead of from myself. I do not know the way to you, yet you, my source, are wholly certain. Guide your child along the quiet path that leads to you. Let my forgiveness be complete, and let the memory of you return to me. So we're just asked to very gently put one step in front of the other, knowing that we will be guided in the direction of our source. So cognitively, we may not know the way, but we know that if we start to practice forgiveness and non-judgment, then we will be gently guided in that direction towards peace, towards love, and our forgiveness will complete and let the memory of love return to us. So beautiful. This is a day of stillness and peace. And as you enter into your quiet meditation, perhaps saying to yourself, today I commit to stillness and peace, or today I claim my stillness and peace.